Hi, it's Amy Rich with amyrich.stampinup.net. I'm here today to share a project with the stamp set Beauty and Joy. When I saw the Beauty and Joy stamp set in the holiday catalog, I knew I needed to have it on my first order. It just, something about it screamed elegance, and it's just lovely, and I love the sayings, I love the font, so I got my hands on it right away. So we're going to make a fall project using this stamp from the Beauty and Joy stamp set. I'm going to take, I don't want to call it a scrap of Very Vanilla cardstock because it's a little bit bigger than that, but it's not a specific size. It just needs to fit what we're doing. So we're going to take Early Espresso ink and the basket or the vase or the bottom part of the tree. It's going to hold the tree. And you see how pretty that shading is built in right into the stamp. So that's using Early Espresso ink. It's very pretty. Then coming in with soft suede, we're going to take the tree trunk. And I need to get my head over this. So I'm going to pull this down a little bit to make sure I get it in the basket. So there's my tree trunk. Now for the leaves, and you can see they've been well used by me. We are going to do the baby wipe technique. So we're just going to take, I see this one has a little bit of staining on it. Guess what? Those colors work great. So we're going to leave that in there. And it can go into any plastic case. I'm just going to take my case that I used for my chamois. And I'm going to open up my baby wipe all the way, and then I'm going to fold it in half, and I think in thirds this way. All right, so that you've got a little piece like this. Then I'm using 3 different colors of ink refill. This one is Pumpkin Pie. I'm just going to drip some drops of Pumpkin Pie ink refill onto my baby wipe. Next, Cajun CRAZE. You can tell I've had some of these refills for a while, but there's some great techniques you can use with them. And Cherry Cobbler. When you think about fall leaves, these 3 colors come to mind. Oranges and reds, yellows too. So we're just basically creating an ink pad here. We're going to use the leaf stamp then, and we're just going to get those colors melding together a little bit. And then we'll stamp that onto our project, and that's what we get. So we get some really pretty nice fall leaves. Now the more you use that same ink pad, the more it's gonna blend together. It's gonna look really cool as you continue to use that same baby wipe for the stamp. Now you don't, for this particular project, you don't have to clean this off if you're gonna make more than one. Just go ahead, ink it up again, and stamp it. Now we're gonna bring in the platform for our die cutting machine. We're gonna put that tree on top, and then I'm going to do something a little bit odd. I'm going to go into the Halloween section, but I don't want you to miss the Ornate Frames dies in this Halloween suite. So I wanted to show you this. It's on page 53 in the current 2019 holiday catalog. There are some great and beautiful ornate dies in here, as you can see in the samples. But we are going to go into that packet and pull out this particular die from the set. And then we're going to cut this out. So we're going to stick our die on to cut out our basket. Put the other cutting plate on top and cut it out. So then when we bring that back in, you can see that it has cut this piece out. Then we're going to do the top the same way. Get that lined up where you want it to cut. Oh, maybe down a little bit more. There we go. And try from left to right to have it about the same spacing as this one. You know what? I think I'm gonna flip my cutting plate. I think that's part of the problem here. All right. So then we're going to cut that next. All right, then we'll take that one out. And finally, last but not least, we'll cut out the middle. And again, you want to just check to make sure that they're kind of lined up from side to side with the one above and below it. All right, so then you've got your 3 pieces of your tree. Next, we're going to layer those onto a piece of Cajun CRAZE cardstock that is cut 3 inches by 3.5 inches. So we're going to layer these on. Maybe a little closer together here. So that it looks like that. Next, we'll take a piece of 2x5 early espresso cardstock. We're going to run that through the basket weave embossing folder at an angle. Notice how the basket weave here is at an angle. That's kind of the same idea I want for this piece. So we're going to put that through in our embossing machine, and we get something that looks like this. Let's layer the card together. Excuse me. So I'm taking a piece of Very Vanilla, thick Very Vanilla cardstock. And then we'll adhere the early espresso basket weave to the side. Oh, I forgot something. We don't want to forget the Cajun CRAZE linen thread, which comes in this beautiful set with the crumb cake ribbon that has satin along the edge. That comes from our not occasions, holiday catalog as well. And I just want to wrap that around a couple of times. Get that out of the way. And now I think I'll stick it down. It'll be easier to, as long as I've got my adhesive on there, it'll be easier to tie my bow. So again, this Cajun CRAZE linen thread comes in the same pack as the crumb cake ribbon that I showed you. And that is in the holiday catalog in the Come to Gather suite on page 47. And you can see it right here. It comes together in a 2-pack. All right. Then I think we're going to have to move this down a little bit, which is unfortunate, but all right, there we go. Then we're going to pop this up with some dimensionals, and you can see I have just an edge left. I mean, why not use all of your dimensionals, right? So we'll just use the edge. And adhere that to our card. And the look I'm going for is to have about the same edge over here as I have over here. And I told you earlier that I really like the font in this stamp set, so I grabbed the So Thankful. And we're going to go back to Early Espresso and stamp the So Thankful down here at the bottom. So this is a great way to use the baby wipe technique to create a beautiful fall leaf card.